Jerry Brown. I'm a social worker designee, and I work with hospice.
And I am Lynn Bledsaw, and I'm a registered nurse. I work with hospice.
Quite often, when we get involved in someone's care with hospice, it's usually at a critical time where they've been already discussed at the doctors that, they have 6 months or less to live, and we're making those decisions at that point, which is in a critical time. So a lot of emotions are going on, and sometimes it's hard to gather everyone around at that point because of the emotions involved, knowing that someone is at the end of their life and they're starting to plan what they want done. And I think it's a lot like what you do when you have children and teenagers in high school, and then you're planning their future and you're talking about college, and you're sitting down with them saying, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to go to college for? But it can be the same conversation. You could be in your 20s or 30s and say, let's talk about what we're going to do when we're in our 60s and 70s and so on.
Oftentimes there may have been a stroke or something that affects thinking and that. And so it's important that you have these thoughts and that when your head's clear, when you're not stressed about again, a terminal diagnosis that you've just been given in that. But you have these thoughts maybe even earlier in your life. Oftentimes at a funeral of a loved one or that, you may start thinking. And again, it's important to choose as a proxy someone who knows what your wishes are, because that person is going to talk for you when you cannot. In choosing a proxy, you'll want to make sure it's that person truly knows you and truly knows your wishes, because they will act as you if you're not able to.
I think one of the things that we encounter often are older couples who have not talked about, well, what happens if we get really sick and I need 24-hour care? You're not going to be able to care for me in the state that you're in, and I can't do it by myself. So what about a nursing home? What about assisted living? What about 24-hour care? What kind of help am I going to get for my family? Those are really huge things that people need to think about, that quite often they're just not enough time because they are given this terminal diagnosis and they are suddenly really sick, and here they are, without the help that they truly need.
We have seen families just be devastated by not preparing and not having that support of a hospice team or any healthcare team to support you in that end of life.
I think one of the things that's particularly helpful, again, at that, it's just a very stressful time at the end of life, is there's several forms. There's forms that you can download from the internet as far as living wills. We've got forms that we bring out. Anything that you can put down in writing, again, takes the stress off of whoever that surrogate is that you've appointed, because they can then say, well, here's their wishes. This is what they've initialed and said that they want. And again, it provides written, documented proof, as you will, or support for what your wishes are. And so if you can get that down in writing, and that, then again, that takes the pressure off whoever's delivering that. And so again, that's why it's important that the conversation is had while you're still able to